All right. Twin City Sports Talk on a Hot Take Tuesday episode here. We got the full gang, Trevor Kramer, Bruce Kramer, and Jack Olmscheid. Fun show. We're going to be going over some Gopher stuff, kind of reiterating some stuff that we're excited about in the next, few areas of Gopher football, for lack of a better word there. Then we're going to be going through the AL Central and everything that our foes have done this offseason, which, spoiler, it's not a lot. So we're kind of in the same boat as a division. So that part is good for it. We'll get to that later, but we're going to start with some Gophers talk real quick. Just because Trevor and I got stuck talking about it a lot last night for a little bit. But I first wanted to go over just simply about how the roster is going to look next year, Trev. Because I mean that's the main thing that gets me and I think a lot of Gophers fans kind of hyped up about now. Because one, obviously some big names are staying, which Drake Lindsay, he says he can't wait to further his Gopher career, which is great to hear from your freshman quarterback. Darius Taylor, he's staying. Reliable running back when he's on the field. That's the problem.
Which I think was he a freshman this year?
No. Taylor was a junior. He's been a good back for us for a few years now.
But the concern is he's pretty good. Where our O-line stunk and he had it down near his standards. So hearing that he's coming back, it's good because you never knew for sure if he was returning for another year.
Yep, and the offensive line is mostly all coming back. For the most part, I think there was just the one senior, Ray Dillon or Dylan Ray. I forget or if it's backwards what I'm saying it, Dylan Ray or Ray Dillon. I don't know. It could go either way, but
he's regardless. Yeah.
Yeah, and either way, the big one, Anthony Smith, the leader in the Big Ten in sacks this year. The bowl game, he announced he's coming back, so that's even better. But as the roster as a whole, your O-line will be better than it was this year. So that's something positive. Quarterback and running back, you're good. One thing I would say, go get a running back in the transfer portal because behind Taylor, you don't have much right there, much at all. With Fame Ejeboy entering the transfer portal. But then the wide receiver room, I'm assuming Javon Tracy's going to stay, but then you have the freshman superstar, Jalen Smith, who scored 2 touchdowns in the bowl game. And so that's also a need right now. You got to go address that in the portal. You do have 8 guys in your recruiting class in the wide receiver position. Lemeke Brockington declared for the draft. But the big thing on offense, you do not have a tight end going into next year. Your top 2 tight ends are both seniors. They're both done. So you got to go get someone in the portal. Unless number 1 recruit in Minnesota, Roman Voss, number 1 throughout the whole state, he's coming to the Gophers. He decided between the Gophers or Alabama. 4-star recruit. He's going to be with you next year as a true freshman. He will play, no matter if you get a starting tight end in the portal or not. But it's going to be interesting to see if they use him more like a Coy Parrish type thing where he's playing a lot as a true freshman or not. But the room is open for him right now. Maybe that's why he came here instead of Alabama. We don't know. But it's a fun talker there.
You got to imagine the competition in Alabama would be way more intense than it would be up here.
Yeah.
Don't we play next year?
Not next year, but we do have Bama on the schedule in 2020 or 2030, I think.
20. I thought it was closer than that.
I think you're thinking of Wisconsin. Wisconsin has a deal where they play Alabama. They signed a contract to play them for the next 4 years because they just wanted a loss on their schedule to make them feel good, Either way.
Or you're thinking of the SEC matchup because that's Mississippi State.
Yeah, we have Mississippi State. Yeah, on the schedule. And I'll pop the schedule up here in a second.
September 18th, 2032.
And we play Bama? Okay, so we have 6 years to this big game.
Yep.
What
Good
was
Lord.
This? Oh, yeah, okay, the defense. Obviously, I said Anthony Smith is coming back, which is the big one. But your other edge rushers, you're sitting really nice right now. Jackson Howard was a sophomore. He had 4 sacks this year. Also, Carter Menz. I almost said Men's Carter like last night again, Trev. Carter Menz. Yeah, he also had 5.5 sacks this year, so he was a great addition again, bringing him in. But either way, all of them are returning, so your edge rushing room is sitting great. But the biggest thing around the whole team, your top 4 interior D linemen are all seniors, and they are all gone, including Devin Eastern, and then Redding, Nate Becker, and then Lauren. Those are your top 4 guys. They're all gone. That's going to be a big topic. Big topic in the portal. You really got to got to put all of your chips into maybe one of the top guys there and get a few other depth. But for the rest of the defense, it's looking really good. Maverick Baranowski's returning for the middle linebacker position. You have Emmanuel Carmo, he was a freshman this year. He played the first 6 games and kind of lost time after that, but he's coming in as an athlete. But your secondary is really positive. Coy Parrish, hopefully not going anywhere. John Nestor's coming off a 5-pick season. Kerry Brown, Zaquan Bryan, he was a sophomore. A lot of good stuff in the secondary. A ton of playmakers there. Those guys are going to be NFL players in the future, some of them. And then also another linebacker you still have back is Matt Kingsbury. He's also a stud. So your defense is looking really good going into next year. You just need to fill out that D line, and then for the offense, go get a tight end, hopefully. Fill out that receiver room, and then get a backup running back. That's really the bottom line there. Is there anything with the roster you want to talk about, Trev, or mention?
No, I'm just excited to see the secondary again because you have Kerry Brown and Coy Parrish back. You got Brian, like you mentioned, and the edge rusher. So it'll be key how much they can fill that outside interior D line. And then really just seeing how they address the offensive line too. Because the run game wasn't great. I think pass blocking was okay.
It was okay.
If I remember correctly.
Yep.
But the running game should have been better when you have Taylor. So
yeah.
Granted,
Taylor misses time every year because of injuries, but either way.
Yeah, that's the bummer.
Yeah. I'm going to pop our schedule up here next year. Now, you have the first 3 games and what day those are on, but the rest of them, the Big Ten play, we don't know which day or whatever they're on.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Here's why I'm excited. Obviously, the roster.
Okay. I'm gonna sound like a complete dumbass. I'm not a big college sports guy. Never.
Nope, you're good.
Besides hockey, Indiana's in the Big, right?
They're the number 1 team in the nation, right now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Well, they're in the Big Ten. Right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Oh, yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay. I'm trying to get all my sections and divisions down.
Yeah, every Indiana and everyone lower is in our conference in the Big Ten here.
Okay, that's what I figured. I
every
recognize
single person
also.
lower. But yeah, so the first 3 games, the 2 games against Akron and Eastern Illinois, we don't need to talk about that. Those should be 2 wins by far easily. But this is a fun one. An SEC opponent, Mississippi State, they get to come up to Minnesota, which I don't remember last time the Gophers have had an SEC opponent in Huntington Bank Stadium. I really don't.
I
can't.
I honestly don't know if we've had it since we've remembered watching them on TV.
Yeah, exactly. I really don't remember it, so that should be really fun. I'm excited for that. And
we did play Auburn in that bowl game when it was Bo Nix's true freshman year, but for an in-season regular
at
season
home
game, I
too.
don't remember.
Home, yeah. I don't remember anything like that, but it's cool. You also avoid a Georgia, Bama, a Tennessee, any of the big teams, because Mississippi State is they're fighting with Kentucky for being the worst in the SEC. So you should be able to compete pretty well. They're still going to be great because the SEC, they get good recruiting no matter what. But going off of this, what I really wanted to hound on here is a bunch of these Big Ten games. I will go through it very quickly, but a ton of these teams have so much uncertainty going into this offseason and everything. We were just saying, the Gophers are really set. They have basically their team is set for the most part next year. Their quarterback, they have their running back, they have most of the receivers that are going to be starting. Their offensive line is staying the same. Basically, the whole offense is going to be the same going into next year. Defense, maybe even more similar from going into next year. They have everything they need, really. And then if they keep adding some portal pieces, they have a few Roman Voss, and then we're going to get to a wide receiver that Trev and I are really stoked on. Either way, let me go through this quick. Indiana they're losing a ton of guys to the NFL draft this year. I mean, they have such a talented team. And I mean, I don't want to get into the weeds, but what Kurt Signetti did in Indiana, Jack, Indiana in 2023 won one Big Ten conference game. They went 1-8 in conference play, or 1-7. And then 2 years later, they become the number one team in the entire nation. They don't even have a 5-star on the team. Their recruiting class was ranked 80th in the nation. They don't. It's all coaching. It's all.
I'm learning as well as you guys out there right now. So
yeah, I mean, Indiana. It's one of the best stories in sporting history in the past many years here. Either way, but they're losing their quarterback Fernando Mendoza. He's going to the NFL. Uncertainty there. They're going to get a guy in the portal. But it's just you don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty there. They're probably most likely going to be worse. I mean, you can't really repeat what they did this year.
But even I think you're leading up to us. But even with them being worse, I think there's still going to be a problem.
Oh yeah, and you have to, like it says here, you are playing in Bloomington, so you got to travel to Indiana, harsh environment. But that leads into this next part. You get Iowa and Michigan; those are your two toughest games, other than Indiana. You get both of them at home. Obviously, we got beat 41-3 this year against Iowa. And PJ Fleck just can't beat Iowa, so that one's never an easy one. And I'm not saying it would be an easy one, but they just had their best quarterback play in probably the past 12 years in Mark Gronowski this year, and now he's a senior, so he's done. And he was probably their best quarterback, like I said, in the past decade. So Iowa, a lot of uncertainty. They're going to get a guy again. Their running back, Moulton, he's going to be there again next year, but they're going to be good. It's just you get them at home, I think, early in the season, unless this is just completely off. I have no idea. But we usually, I don't know. At home, it should be a better game. Michigan, they just hired Whittingham, the Utah coach, which is a great hire by them from all the Sharon Moore crap going around and stuff. All that situation.
I was going to say the Michigan game is, I would say, it's just a complete wild card because you don't know how many guys are staying and how much turnover is going to be with that team. And but I mean, Michigan, they have their quarterback freshman this year, Bryce Underwood, the number one recruit in last year's class total. Is he staying or is he still? Yeah, he said he's staying. He's all in with Whittingham. So he's their quarterback next year. Other than for the rest of the team, I don't know for other guys if they transferred out with Moore getting fired. I don't know. But let's keep going. Northwestern, we just lost to them this year at Wrigley Field. Their quarterback was Preston Stone. He's done. And Wildy, their top receiver that just killed us, he's also gone. Northwestern should be worse next year than they were this year. But they are building something there in Chicago. But either way, it's a winnable game. You get them at home. This one I'm excited about. See, if anyone knows me, they know I'm a Tennessee fan. I had an uncle that went there. I've been a Tennessee fan for a long time. And Nico Iamaleava is now the UCLA quarterback. I want the Gophers to just kind of just destroy him a little bit here. And they're going to get a good chance to. You get UCLA at home. UCLA really struggled this year. They don't have a great recruiting class at all. They're not bringing anyone really big in the portal for all I know. Or they're not linked to many guys. I don't know. It's a winnable game. But then the fun one, too, Penn State. Penn State just fired James Franklin this year, and they hired Iowa State's coach. I forget his name, but
what a turnaround year for them. Holy
yeah. Lady. And guess what? They had 32 recruits that were committed to Penn State, and as of right now, they only have 4 because James Franklin has snubbed almost 100% of the guys he recruited to Penn State. He's almost brought all of them to Virginia Tech. He's just, you want to come? He's a huge players coach. That's what everyone says about him. So, I mean,
I'm blanking, and you may have mentioned it. Who's Penn State's new coach?
It's the Iowa State's coach. I forget his name.
Oh, Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell. Yeah. Yep. So he got hired there, but and he's a great coach too. Don't get me wrong. He did a lot for Iowa State, but Penn State coming into next year with 4 recruits. They're going to have a killer portal season here to compete next year. So Penn State honestly shouldn't be very good next year. So it's good that you get to go to Beaver Stadium on their down year before they can really build it up again. Purdue should be a win. I'm not going to talk about that. The tough one here is Washington. They're retaining their quarterback, Damon Williams Jr. The only thing with Washington, their top running back, one of the best in the nation's Jonah Coleman. He's declared for the draft, and then their running back, he is transferring out. So running back uncertainty, and they're a run-heavy team. Wisconsin is pretty terrible in pretty much every category. I don't need to talk about that one. You have to go to Wisconsin this year. But the Washington game's interesting, though, because Husky Stadium is a very tough place to play. But anyway, like as a whole, the Gophers being able to really have a whole offseason with a full roster that's kind of staying intact here, that's huge. And I think it's going to be – I'm excited because this schedule is very doable for what kind of a team you have. Oh, all right. Here we go. If anyone's wondering, we are just completely in a different time zone now, basically. Now, I had to step off for a little emergency with my dog, but right now, just me and Trevor. I love how now I'm going to look back and it's just going to cut Jack just out of the picture. He's just going to be out of it now. Really weird situation. Technical difficulties, you could say, on TCST today on Hot Take Tuesday. But either way, you got Trevor and Bruce now. And we're going to keep continuing this episode. I honestly, we don't know where we completely left off because it's been about 5 hours now since we last were recording. But we're going to go to this recruit that Trevor and I learned about a lot more of kind of last night by the name of Braden Stevens. I read into it a little bit a few months ago when he really committed to the Gophers, but I didn't learn this much about him. So Braden Stevens, a wide receiver commit. Okay. The number one wide receiver from Kansas City. Okay. I'm just going to read his entire bio here. Just signed with the Golden Gophers. Speedy two-time state champion in track or football, is looking to make a huge impact as a true freshman. So we were just talking on this episode. I know we were about the wide receiver room, how it could be really good if you get Javon Tracy to return, which I think he probably will. But then obviously Jalen Smith too. But then if you add Braden Stevens to the mix here and I'll get to the speed stuff, but this dude's a freak athlete, absolute freak athlete. All right. He won the Otis Taylor Award, best wide receiver for the KC metro area down there. He runs a 10:38 100-meter dash. And if anyone doesn't know, we looked up Usain Bolt's record for the 100-meter dash. And I think it was like 9.6, right? Or like 9.58.
Somewhere in the nines, yeah.
Yeah. Either way, like
pretty much a second difference, which is
it's
lot
less
for
than
track,
a second.
but
It's less than a second.
But
either way, he's up there. Like he could compete high level track. Like Braden Stevens could compete in some high levels of track and field stuff. That was his junior year. He ran a 10:38. And he says in his bios here, he is quoted saying, I'm going to run even faster this year in his senior year. So expect Usain Bolt numbers from Stevens. Kidding. But either way, super fast. But he chose Minnesota for the culture on and off the field. He also has a personal relationship with PJ Fleck. And he knows Drake will get him that football, is what he said. So either way, this is a huge signing that we didn't look into a ton. But one of the, I think he is the fastest player in the recruiting class. Like,
I'd be shocked if he's not.
Like, he is like in all of the country, people, like everywhere. I mean, this guy is your go ball machine, Braden.
Well, not even go balls, but then like just your quick screens and your jet sweeps and all that. You can get so creative with them.
Exactly.
Which always makes me think when we talk about these kind of players. Quick side note, not to get completely sidetracked, but like what could have been this Vikings year with Rondale Moore.
Yep. Rondale was a beast in college.
Yeah, it'll be exciting seeing this kid play with the Gophers. You got quite a young offense now.
Yeah, you do.
Really with kind of all the skill positions, really not too many seniors at all for the skill positions.
Yep. So, I mean, as you could probably guess, he is a smaller guy. He's 5'8", 165 pounds. So, I mean, you kind of expect that. It's like a Miles Price, Rondale Moore type guy, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's something to be really excited about. If he can, I honestly, I don't know much about his hands. If he can catch the ball, if he has drop issues, don't know. But if he can run like that past literally anyone on the field, it's going to be exciting. It's just a willingness. Like, here's the thing. If he's on the outside and you do ask him to like run a go ball, Drake needs to have so much anticipation on that throw where he's throwing it like a second after he's going to get the snap and shotgun, and then he's going to throw it right there. And it's really just going to be like that. I mean, that's a tough job.
Yeah, literally, that's going to be it. Because once when you can beat the press, if they're pressing and playing up, once when you beat it, or not even beat it, but if you're like level, he's going to outburn the corner, unless you're going up against, like, say, Ohio State corners, but we don't play them.
Well, either way, though, he's going to blow past anyone. Yeah. Like, I'm serious. Like, if you see a single high safety look in any capacity or in any way,
or like a cover 3 zone.
Yeah. It's like you need, I mean, just it sounds cliche saying it, but like send him deep. That's just really all. But either way, him, Jalen Smith, and Javon Tracy would be a heck of a receiving trio. We went through the schedule. Schedule's doable. Not a lot of teams could stop this. So it's a lot to be excited for in that case for the Gophers. But that's all for the Gophers right now. We're going to move to Minnesota Twins. Like I said earlier in the show, we're not going to be going through a lot of Twin stuff today. We're rather going to be going through everything that our opponents and foes in the AL Central have done this offseason and this free agency. And like I said earlier, it's not much. So I'll go through it not quickly, but just relatively quick. Starting with the Royals, Trev. Again, not much. They signed outfielder Lane Thomas. I don't know if you saw that one.
No,
you do know
Royals,
Lane Thomas.
Right?
Yeah, the Royals signed
Briefly.
them. He was on the Guardians last year. I mean, he's not a great bat. He's good defensively, so it's just a depth signing. Yeah. They did trade Matt Strom, the dude with the
lefty reliever.
Yeah, the lefty locks, good hair, for Jonathan Bolin, who had a 3.86 ERA in 44 innings pitched last year, 46 strikeouts, and a 1.2 WHIP. So good average year, but I think it's just a reliever swap. Lefty for another righty. It's not much for them. It's not going to do a lot. But those are the only two like major league moves the Royals have made at all. So they're kind of in our boat right now. But I will say the one thing that every opponent in our division has done is signed a reliever. The Twins have not. They've traded for Eric Orsi from the Rays, but that's nothing special at all. Either way, there's a lot of relievers still out there. All right, White Sox. I'll start with the bigger one. They did end up getting Munetaka Murakami, I think is how you say his name.
I haven't really looked into it. I know it's one of the top.
Yeah, obviously. So he's the big power hitter coming out of Japan. But like the baggage there is that the stat that we always talk about, he is hitting like 0.089, one of the worst averages with on fastballs
really
of 93 miles per hour over, which in a fastball heavy league is.
I was going to say almost every starter or reliever is pumping that.
Yeah,
I mean, 93 is now like considered low velocity. So yeah.
So I mean, it's a test. It's a cheaper contract than what Murakami wanted. And he actually because the Japanese players, they have that like signing window or else they have to return. That was with I think like a day and a half left until that window closed for him. So either way, he kind of needed to. So he went to a rebuilding White Sox team, prove himself a little bit. Good for him. But then the White Sox.
How many years did he get? Do you know?
I think it was a 1 or 2 year deal. I
forget how that works. Or does it not really matter because like the whole team control? We'll have to look that up.
Yeah. Nothing for tonight. They signed reliever Anthony Kay. Nothing special. He had over a 5 ERA last year. Another depth guy, but this one was a good move. Do you know who Sean Newcomb is? I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, lefty. Wasn't he a Braves pitcher?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. lefty. He's 6'5". He played for Boston and the Athletics last year, but he posted a 2.7 ERA in 92 innings pitched, 91 strikeouts.
And this is still the White Sox.
Yeah, great signing by Chicago. Big lefty pitcher out of the pen. I think maybe he had some spot starts in there because 91 innings is
I know he came up as a starter, but a reliever sounds right. I think he's transitioned.
Either way, that's a great signing by the White Sox and kind of something you wouldn't expect. But yeah, great signing by Chicago. Can't say we've had a good signing like that unless you count Josh Bell. But all right, Cleveland, who has a payroll a lot cheaper than ours, so we got to feel thankful. They signed Connor Brogdon, just another depth pitcher. I've never heard of him either. But it's a major league signing. Joel, what is his name? Big Christmas. I forget what his name is. You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, but
who hit the big homer against the Yankees in the playoffs like a few years ago? They DFA'd him. I didn't know that. But I thought I would bring that up. Either way. This is in Cleveland.
No more Christmas here in Cleveland.
This is the good signing for them. They signed Sean Armstrong, reliever, 2.3 ERA last year, 74 innings pitched, 74 strikeouts, a 0.81 WHIP. So he is control master. Doesn't let up hits, doesn't walk a lot of guys at all. So great signing there. He had a great year last year. Tigers just going full bullpen. 3 relievers they've signed, and that's all they've done. The one big one being Kenley Jansen, obviously the vet. He's pitched in World Series before. Nothing you can say about Kenley Jansen. He's been good for 15 years now, right? Or is it?
That's a good signing. Yeah, I don't know if give or take. Actually, he's had a line career. I don't know if it's 15, but it's
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Another good one was Kyle Finnegan. He's been reliable the past few years. And then Drew Anderson. I have personally never heard of Drew Anderson, but there's just too many pitchers in the league.
Every team's got 7 or 8 bullpen arms, and then you multiply that by the 30 teams, and then you're not going to know. You'll know probably. You and I, we probably know. I'd say 75%, and that other 25%, give or take, maybe a little bit less. Maybe argue like 15% are going to be your fringe. Up and down guys for whether it's injuries or whether you just need a fresh arm or two.
But those are the 3 signings, 3 relievers for the Tigers. Like I said, no one in this division is really making a big step, making a big splash or anything, and there hasn't been, unless you're talking to Tarek Skubal contract extension or trade, that kind of stuff. That's the big talker in this division right now. But other than that, nothing is happening with this division. And to be honest, these teams, the White Sox, they're still a couple years away. They have a really good system. They really do. They have a lot of great players in the system that they're hoping can translate to the MLB. But still the White Sox are not going to be a problem this year, at all. The Royals,
most likely,
I'll say that. But the Royals, they haven't done really anything big in the last couple of years. They're just kind of relying on Bobby Witt and Salvador Perez to kind of carry them. I mean, they have Cole Reagans and Seth Lugo, but Lugo, how old is he now? He's getting up there too.
Oh, yeah, he spent several years with the Mets, and then he's probably mid-30s. I don't know if he's upper 30s, but I guess around 35.
Yeah.
Anyways, but one quick thing I was just thinking came to my head. Paddock, he didn't get re-signed by Detroit. I don't know.
He's a free agent. Yeah.
I wonder if he even gets another shot. He might get a minor league deal, but he's probably toast.
So I am gonna name the actual rosters real quick because the Royals, like I said, they're kind of just relying on Witt and Salvi to just kind of give them that boost. But again, they're going with Pasquantino at first, and then Michael Garcia, Jonathan India, and then Lane Thomas is probably going to be their starting left fielder. Then Kyle Isbell, and then the young gun Jack Caglione He was their number
top
one
guy.
prospect. But there's not a lot, and they don't have a lot of depth there. Their bullpen, except for maybe Lucas Urseg, there's not a lot of guys there. Their starting staff is Cole Reagans, and then Lugo had like a down year. I'm pretty sure his ERA was inflated above 4.
They have Singer still, right? Brady Singer?
No, he's on the Reds. He was on the Reds last year.
Is right, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
interesting. Okay.
The Royals, they're not gonna. It doesn't. I mean, they can be good. They're a great contact team. So if they can put bat to ball, they can win some games. But they're not attacking in the offseason. They're not doing a lot, and it's just an average team all around.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the Tigers making the playoffs. I mean, when you have Tarek Skubal, their starting staff is really getting there because Casey Mize, he hit a really good stretch there last year. Went 14-6, ERA of like 3.7, I think. But then Reese Olson was maybe even better. I think his ERA before, I think he got injured at the second half of the year. But his ERA was like flirting with being under 3 all year. They have a great starting staff. The bullpen is now better, but it's not great in any sense. They don't have a lot of standout guys. Maybe Bo Brisky, that rookie from last year. Now they have Jansen, but I mean, other than that, their lineup is based on a lot of contact.
Jansen too, not only with his experience, but it could be also kind of like that Nelson Cruz signing that we talked about. Was that yesterday's podcast or like 2 days ago? When you just have that leadership and like it's kind of like a player coach, and you can learn so much and gain so much knowledge from him. So for any of the young guys, or even like guys that aren't necessarily young, just I mean, Kenley Jansen, probably Hall of Famer. If I'm thinking off the top of my head, if I'm not being too high on him, because he won a couple.
He had
a
great year last
Dodgers.
year.
Yeah, I know he had some good run with Boston. So yeah, I mean that's even maybe if Kenley doesn't put up Kenley Jansen type numbers, I mean there's so much you could probably learn from that guy too.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean the Tigers, they are going to be fighting for the division, but their lineup is based on a lot of contact, and it really when your team is slumping, they're not going to win games because you don't have that much power. I mean, Riley Green gives you power, but he also leads the league in strikeouts. And there's that swing and miss factor there. But like the second half of the year, they completely faltered. I mean, they were up 20 games in the division to Cleveland, and Cleveland ended up winning the division. And that's because their offense just couldn't do anything. Their pitching was fine. So the Tigers, it's a weird one because they faltered, but it's still a good team. It's so backhanded. And then the last one is obviously Cleveland, where the top two in that starting role are Gavin Williams and then Tanner Beebe. Tanner's coming off of a worse year, I think, but Gavin Williams is turning into a stud. Very good pitcher. Other than that, not really anyone on the starting rotation.
I still can't believe, and maybe you followed it more. I know you're watching baseball. Really, the last couple years, you've watched more baseball than that I have been watching. But the whole Shane Bieber thing, still don't really get why they traded him. Because
I couldn't explain that to you.
He's not a free agent, right? This year, like, does he have at least one more year? I don't know.
Well, no. He re-signed with the Blue Jays. He was a free agent this year.
Okay. So I guess so never mind. I take that back. Because if he's a pending free agent, maybe he didn't want to re-sign or they didn't want to pay him. Okay. Yep. I thought he at least had one more year. So I remember him being
the one team that I really have. I mean, I don't want to have faith in them, but I don't have any faith in Cleveland being like a over 500 ball club because you had Williams and Beebe, like I said, but other than that, you have Logan Allen, Joey Cantillo, which hasn't really panned out as well as they thought it would with Cantillo right now. But then Slade Kessoni, I've never heard of him. He's their fourth guy on their rotation right now. Their bullpen really has no one except Cade Smith I recognize.
Did you say Tristan McKenzie? Is he still on that team? Or did he fall off?
He fell off a map. He didn't play really at all last year.
Okay.
But for the bullpen, the only ones I really recognize are Tim Herron, Hunter Gaddis, and Cade Smith. I don't know. Obviously, the whole thing with Clase, so
that's where I was going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is.
That's
not
a
only
killer.
do you lose your closer, you lose the best closer in baseball.
By far.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, which is crazy because he was a 2-pitch pitcher and he mainly threw that one pitch.
Uh-huh.
Right? It was the cutter. And then, like, the
cutter 92% of the time. Yep.
Yeah, wild. But yeah, so, I mean, not only your closer guy is the best closer in baseball, and then it's just going to be a morale killer. You got to believe in just a shot. Because who do you think the closer is now for them? Is it going to be kind of like by committee
I would
until someone
assume
takes it?
Cade Smith, unless they sign someone.
You
know what? It'll probably be Sean Armstrong, actually, their new signing that they made. Because out of all the pitchers they had, he had the best year for them statistically. Well, not for them, but last year.
Last year's stats, yeah.
But I want to talk about Cleveland's lineup because it's literally nothing special. I mean, maybe two guys that are over 340 or 240 hitting, and obviously one being Jose Ramirez at third base. He's just a stud, like one of the best players in the league, no matter what. But first base, have you ever heard of CJ Kafis? Ever since trading Josh Naylor, their first base now.
I think the only reason I know that name though, and I think he was like I think it was like number 4 ranked prospect. Because when the Twins blew up their roster, we played Cleveland. Like that may have been the series after, and I know he debuted against the Twins. Like because I didn't watch many Twins baseball games, especially after the deadline. Because why would any of us do that?
Yeah, exactly.
But I do remember watching one of the games. Why I did, I don't remember. I think it was like a Bailey Ober start, but I do remember him. Because if I remember correctly, he had like the walk-off. I don't know if it was a walk-off
single. I think it was either like a
suicide sweep, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, that's the only reason I know the name. I don't know nothing about him though, besides watching that one game.
Either way, in the time he had last year, he was terrible. Maybe I'm assuming he would be better than what he was because he hit like 210 or 220. But going off of it, Brian Rocchio is really good defensively, but he's a horrible bat. No, he like contact, no power, no. Obviously Jose Ramirez at third base, but their shortstop going into next year is Gabriel Arias or Arias. I think it's Arias. Either way, he's a 220 hitter through the first 4 years of his career. Never hit better than 220. Bo Naylor, their starting catcher, hit 195 last year. Okay. And then you go to the outfield, obviously Stephen Kwan, going to give you a good, last year was 270.
What was he? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's actually kind of weird. His first year, 290, 260, 290, 270. So he's on pace for 290 this year. But either way, but their center fielder is Chase DeLauder. He's obviously like a rookie, didn't get much time last year, but you're going into this year with no experience center fielder. And then they're also going into this year with a no experience right fielder, someone who debuted last year, George Valera. So you have two guys in the outfield that have had no pro ball experience, and then everyone in your infield except Jose Ramirez is batting under 230. If they don't start making moves, but they don't spend money either. They don't. They've consistently their payroll is third worst or cheapest in the league. And so
I'm just thinking Cleveland fans got to relate with us Minnesota fans. We can relate so much. I mean, I guess you can argue the Vikings have been consistently good, just not playoff good, but we really haven't had success in either of those cities.
Either way, what I'm saying is if the Twins can stay healthy, we easily have the best starting rotation in the AL Central. I mean, I think without a doubt. The bullpen, no, not even close.
Yeah, the bullpen's gonna be iffy.
But for lineups, our lineup is up there with healthiness. Depending on health, you're going to get homers out of Josh Bell and Matt Wallner now. And I mean,
Wallner, I'm losing faith, but
I'm losing faith, but you're going to get homers out of him. Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know how much leash they're going to continue to give him. I mean, he's going to hit 220. I'm okay with that if he can produce the homer. He's going to strike out, but I mean, yeah, we'll see.
That's a talk for some other time, but
yeah, I think more so I just hate Wallner's defense. That's why I gripe on him a little bit more than I maybe should.
Yes, for sure. Either way, this season can be doable. Just stay healthy and you can have a chance. okay, you will have a chance because these teams are nothing special. This division isn't nothing special. Just stay healthy.
For anyone to grab besides Chicago.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's Detroit, I would say, is definitely the odds-on favorite right now because they have the contact on offense, not as much power, but then they have pitching. But the Twins also have pitching where you need it, just a good starting group. But I mean, we're also forgetting about Buxton. He's going to be your power too, and Buxton, if he can. Here's the thing: I don't want to say he's going to play another 140, 130 games or whatever he played last year, because statistically, he doesn't do that. He probably will get injured again, which sucks. But if he can stay healthy, you saw how great he can be. This lineup can do it, Twins fans. All right, we're coming around the corner. All right, just think of the broad scope here. All right, we're good with the Twins. I just want to do that AL Central check-in right there. 2 more things today. It is Hot Take Tuesday, so real quickly, we're going to give a hot take. And Trevor, you start us off, all right?
Oh, that's hot.
All right, I do have 2 just because I felt like I couldn't think of any super spicy ones.
Yep.
I'll start with our new superstar we got on the Wild. Not super negative, but I kind of keep thinking about ever since we got him the whole Connor McDavid thing. Now, obviously, we have Quinn Hughes signed through next year's season, but I think he'll do a short-term deal. Just given, a couple things. The Wild haven't had playoff success the last 10 years. Well, really, the last 10 years, because I think it was 10 years ago when we finally made it second round. And then on top of that, you have the limbo, right, where he might want to play with his other brothers in New Jersey. So I think he'll do a 2 or 3 year deal for around $15 million each year, which I forgot I was going to do it. I think Draisaitl's up there, McDavid. But anyway, so I think Quinn Hughes will sign a short-term deal. I don't think it'll be the long-term deal, but we'll still get him for more than just through next year's season. So I think Quinn Hughes signs a 3-year, $45 million deal. So I think a lot of people are high with how good our team is. Their goalies, which I have faith too. If we can stay healthy, that's going to be the biggest thing. But I don't know if he signs that big, that long-term deal, the 7 or 8 year deal.
He's expressed a lot of interest with playing with his brothers. So it is.
I think a lot of people aren't really thinking of the short-term deal, and I think that's a lot more likely than people are taking it.
People want to see the long-term deal. They're kind of just dismissing the short-term.
100%, yeah.
Which,
hopefully I'm wrong. Anyways, my second one with the whole Flores thing in limbo. I saw his press conference where a reporter asked him, does he want to come back, wherever? And he didn't dodge the question, but he also was vague about it. Really, he's basically saying obviously, I'm going to see what my market's worth. And
I mean, what was this reporter thinking he was going to say? No, I'm going to sign tomorrow to stay here.
Anyways, if Flores is really going to be thinking, which I have faith, the Wolves take care of everyone. We've got one of the best ownerships. One of the best owners, not even NFL, but probably
all
for American sports.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, if worst case scenario we lose them, I think kind of how we've been talking about, if the Vikings offense isn't going, Jefferson might get traded. He might request out. Kind of the thing with Cincy, right? Since he's so desperate, they have the lethal offense. You don't want to give up on Burrow. He's a top 4 quarterback. I think most people would rank him somewhere in the top 4. So I could see Cincinnati going all in on Flores. But
that's not a hot take at all. But
yeah, I don't know. I was kind of struggling, but I will say that's my thing. Since he doesn't pay people, obviously we've seen how the Hendrickson thing has gone. It took super long to re-sign T. Higgins, and that was all in limbo. They don't pay for defense, so I don't know. Probably
it's just a messed up organization. Yeah,
I guess one. Okay, I guess I had one. This was very iffy. I guess this is very unlikely, but I think it's Paulo. I'm so bad at saying his name. Paulo Banchero. I think he'll rank inside the top 5 in MVP voting because he's been playing well recently.
Oh, I wouldn't know that actually.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that
either until one of my buddies was talking about him. Now Orlando, I think, is 5th in the conference, so It's very unlikely, but with what he's been doing in kind of his play style, I think you know how because Jokic as of right now is recording triple double stat or
but you saw he got
recording
hurt, right?
Statistically, I did. He's out 4 weeks, which is terrible.
Yeah.
But I could see him because he's I think he's been like putting up triple doubles recently. If I'm not wrong, I think it was Banchero. So
I know that from him. Yeah, you're right.
Start receiving maybe some MVP votes. He's not going to win MVP.
With Jokic going down, but yes, I think I agree with that. I think the focus could start turning over to Paulo. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to shoot mine. All right. I don't know how hot this is. I need you to rate it on the hotness scale. I really don't. Okay. I can't get a read on it. But my hot take is that NFL draft picks are like 2 times more important than like any free agency pickup. And
just because of salary alone.
Salary alone is the main reasoning. But I also think so free agency, like it's a great way to get a player and have them sign here and add them to the team. But free agency is for players that don't want to be playing for organizations. So a lot of the times, if you're a top like what I'm saying is free agency, it doesn't have just a pool of like the top players in the NFL. There's going to be a few, like by a few, I mean just a couple, like handpick a few guys in every free agency opening that are like top tier at their position. Because they want too much money from the team that they were on. But most of the time for these top tier guys, these teams are going to do anything to keep them if you're a top guy at your position. So, I mean, the draft just for the salary is a lot better as a whole. But free agency alone, it doesn't hold like just a magical bucket of gold coins of just gems at every position. You know, it's most of the time it's going to be a depth guy, an average player that you sign, unless you go all in on one, like one of the, like you could count on my fingers, like the top guys.
Rarely are you going to find a top 3 possession player, really in any sport for free agency.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. For, like the draft picks, just like we were saying, just for the salary alone, you could get a player in the draft that's better in the first round or second or third, maybe, than what you would have gotten in free agency. And maybe we would have seen that if Kwesi knew how to draft at all. But Vikings fans are raw to that, so they wouldn't know that. Either way, I don't know. It's a hot take because some people would be like, well, there's this top 3. Ryan Kelly was second in PFF last year in all centers. But he also had 4 concussions coming into the year. Either way, like people say that this guy ranks the best in his position group, yada, yada, yada. Get your NFL draft picks and hit on them. Howie Roseman, GM for the Eagles, you are the best.
Literally, yeah. Well, and kind of like at Cleveland, like the Browns, I mean, they got Schlesinger, if I'm saying it right, who's having a great year as their early second-round pick. Obviously, the shooter thing was weird because he was falling and all that, but regardless, they eventually took him. He's shown some promise. He's also shown some stupid plays, but that's not
JJ McCarthy. You're gonna see it. It's every rookie quarterback.
Yeah, every rookie's gonna struggle. Very rarely are you gonna have a CJ Stroud or a Bo Nix, like
Jaden
Daniels. So, if you draft well, I mean, it can turn around quick, and they're much younger. They're a lot more affordable. The earlier picks, you have them for multiple years, obviously, in the later rounds. It's only 2 or 3 year deals, but even at 2 or 3 year deals, you make the right picks. I mean, it just helps with depth. And but just for clarification, I mean, you're just saying, like, for your hot take, just so we're on the same page, that free, like, drafting is more important than free agent signings, right?
Yeah, I'd rather have 10 draft picks like we have this year rather than spend like $150 million in free agency.
Yeah, because how many of I think the confusion that maybe your more casual fans will think is it's like a lot sexier. It's just a lot more fun. It's the fun thing because you know the names.
Exactly.
Typically, the guys you're signing, you see the big money.
And you don't have to wait for the progression. Like Dallas Turner, he's finally coming out of his shell and really showing a lot. but we had to wait for it. And people wanted to trade him after like the halfway point in this season. Like, fans are impatient and they don't want to wait. And free agency gives them that opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
no,
yeah. That's my hot take. But last thing in this episode, we got a listener GM. This is more of an opinion one. It's not a question.
Okay.
We're going to get our thoughts on this before my phone dies because it's on there. All right. This is from JJ's Kneecaps. That's the username we're going off of today. JJ's Kneecaps. Thank you for commenting. This is what he said. So this was on our drafting episode. Like we talked about who we'd want to see the Vikings draft, depending on where we were at. And he said at the top of his comment, he obviously wants Caleb Downs or Love. Probably not going to see that anymore, he said, which is true.
I mean, there's always the option. If the Vikings are aggressive enough, you do have the capital. I think the Vikings will be one of the more aggressive teams out looking to trade up in the early rounds. Now, that's also tricky because with Quessie's job on the line,
he's going to be.
There's been, I know multiple podcasts and reports have been out there of like, hey, Quessie, you can't just sacrifice the future pick. So if you're fired, you don't got to deal with them. Yeah. So, like, they're probably going to be very strict on if you're trading, it's only got to be the 2026 picks. You can't trade 2027 picks. If you're moving up, you got to use your current picks and all that. Forgot kind of where I was going with that, but
Jeremiah Love.
Those two guys, yeah. So I do think if a team's desperate enough or they want to get the value and they're in a more long-term rebuild, there's a chance. Unlikely, though. We probably don't get them.
Yeah. And, so Jack and I did an episode yesterday. So right now the Vikings are sitting at 17. So they've dropped down that far, 17. If we won and the earliest we could pick now with like a bunch of other stuff happening, if some other teams lose, would be 13. That is the earliest after this next week, the last week of the season. That's the earliest that we could be picking is 13, which you might be in the range for Jeremiah Love there, whether that be trade back or maybe a miracle draft fall for him.
Trade off, but yes.
Yeah. But then the lowest you could be picking if other stuff happens this week is 20th. So it kind of sucks. We went from like maybe top 10 and now there's a chance. And if we win, and then I think only 2 other teams need to win and we'll get the 20th pick, which that sucks. But either way.
If I remember correctly, didn't Addison kind of go around there and Donovan Jackson?
Yeah,
so to put some light on it, you lose your home run hitting prospects, but
you'll still get a guy. Anyone in the first round should be a starter. Like,
I was gonna say it's really hard to have really any faith in the Vikings scouting and the whole front office. But if they do make the right pick, it's shown with Addison, it's shown with Donovan Jackson, and it's shown prior to this regime of Quessy and KLC. Beeman's had multiple steals in the draft, so if you can identify the right guy, you can still get a good value. Or just can you trust your scouts?
Yeah,
that's our question. But so real quick to clarify, what's is the comment or question like?
No, there's more. There's more.
Okay.
We also talked in that episode that he was commenting back on about the possibility of trading Hawkinson if you can get a team to eat some of that, or maybe you'll have to eat some of it. But he also said he's expecting a trade back in the draft, gain more capital for Kwesi to mess up. No, I'm too negative on Kwesi. He earned it though. But either way, so this JJ's Kneecaps he's expecting a trade back. And he said, I hope Kwesi doesn't miss this time. But the main part of his comment is he would like to wrestle Michael Mayer, the tight end 2, away from Vegas behind Brock Bowers. Because he's shown flashes for sure. So he's saying
he was the top pick too for tight ends.
Yep. He'd like to wrestle Meyer away from the Raiders instead of maybe drafting like a Kenyon Sadiq in the first round. Because he would probably fall around 17 where we are right now. Because he's being wasted behind Bowers and that terrible QB play. Plus 2 years left on his rookie deal. I really like this.
Right. Yeah, I like the idea and everything. A couple things come to my mind. So the Raiders are shot at receiver depth. which I don't know how often they're running 2 tight end sets. I was like,
I haven't watched much Raiders this year except for Red Zone.
No, I don't think anyone's watching. Yeah, that's the only Raiders I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my first thought, because like their only receiver I can even think of off the top of my head that the Raiders currently have is Trey Tucker.
Yep.
My thing is, I think they know what they've got in Mayer, if that's how you say it, Mayer. So I think they might be one of those teams that just run a lot of dual tight ends. So that's my question. Another thing, if you're acquiring him, you kind of do lose that value. Obviously, you still have him on the rookie salary, but he's only – what year is he in? Is he in year 3? Like, is this year 3 for him? Because Bowers is in year 2, and I don't think they were rookies together.
So no, it must be year 3. It must be.
It's got to be.
I'm not sure.
My worry is, and he went second or early third, so he should only have 1 year left going into the 2026 year.
Yeah.
So that's my worry. I do like – that's actually a very promising like a very good trade target. To replace Hawkinson and add with Oliver. That's maybe my one worry is just because it's 1 year and then you got to pay him and you're already paying Oliver.
Okay. Let me offer this. If you are the Raiders GM and I'm calling and I say, all right, hey, can I get a 2nd round pick and Meyer for Jordan Addison? Because
you'd offer Addison in a second for him?
No, you would get a second because you would get a 2nd and Meyer back. So the backup tight end and then a 2nd round pick. Do you think the Raiders accept that? Because like you said, the Raiders have no wide receiver depth. They're obviously trying to compete with like the Geno Smith signing, and they're going to have a top pick, might take a quarterback.
Yeah, I think they know deep down they screwed up giving Geno that deal, and they're just going to have to eat it. See, if we really want to get to the weeds, if we really want to tie the Raiders into it, I think there's some limbo. I know Pete Carroll's year 1 there, and I don't know if their GM is also a brand new guy, like if they're each in year 1, or if the GM stayed and Pete Carroll was the new coach.
I know the GM's been there.
Where I'm going with that is, I think there's a solid, I'm not going to say like good chance, low chance, because I don't really know the odds. I haven't followed it. I haven't paid attention. But I think there's a chance the GM gets fired. And so if the GM gets fired, a new GM comes in, that's not right. So that's a new GM.
Well, okay. I will disagree because you saw they fired Chip Kelly. So Chip Kelly was hired to run that offense this year. He was fired in week 9. So they're kind of and a lot of the time when you see a firing of like a coach, head coach, or more specifically an offensive or defensive coordinator, it's kind of just not pushing off that blame, but it's directing it in a different way. I don't think the GM gets fired because, it was a disaster year. But, Ashton Genty is having like a quiet, super good year with like 12 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards for his rookie year. Like they have promise. And if they get their right quarterback, Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, I think they can compete. And I think, I feel like they would say yes to a 2nd round pick because you still retain your 1st round pick. 2nd and Meyer for
too.
Yeah, they might.
What did they get for Jacoby Myers alone? I think that was 2 picks in return.
Remember.
They weren't like top picks. I think it was like a 3 and a 4, or like a 3 and a 5.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly. But no, obviously they're going to want to load up on picks and continue just adding to that youth and kind of see what you can get. That is very intriguing.
I would think, but they also have a lot of money ready to give a guy, and they could give Addison whatever he wanted. So I think that, but either way, great GM, listener GM opinion / question there. I think both of us agree that would be a good move, whether it be on 1 or 2 more years on his rookie contract for Meyer. But either way, keep those listener GMs coming. We actually have like 3 more in the tank ready. We'll hit a few more in the next few days. Tomorrow, New Year's Eve, we're going to have an episode. It's going to be all about New Year's resolutions for each Minnesota sports team. So the one thing that they can all do better in the new year. We're going to be hitting that hard. Game days tomorrow, Wild and Wolves. We'll have that out tomorrow. But for today, subscribe, follow the Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, and YouTube. Instagram's really blowing up, hitting a lot of followers in the last few days. So thanks to everyone like that. Same with the YouTube and TikTok. I think we're inching closer to 100,000 views on all platforms. I think we're scheduled to hit it in a day and a half, if I'm remembering correctly. So thanks to everyone for that. Keep watching. Keep leaving those listener GMs. Either way, Trevor Kramer, Bruce Kramer. We'll see you guys tomorrow.